everyone. This is Hannah Fletcher with MUSE TV, and I am speaking with director and writer of Day of the Fight, Jack Huston. Congratulations. I'm so excited to be speaking with you today.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you, Anna. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I have to say I really enjoyed your film, and I'm so excited for you with everything that's been going on. How are you feeling with everything as I mean, congratulations, it's coming out tomorrow. How are you feeling?
It's crazy. I feel so great. I think it's been just such a long road to get here. I can't quite believe it's happening. Um, it's like years and years of your life, and then years and years more just because of the pain and anguish and all the rest of the barriers and the uphill battles and the fights that happen like along the way. That when you actually finally get like, oh, it's coming out tomorrow, it's almost a bit hard to believe. But I'm so proud of this film. I'm just in love that we managed to, get it here.
It's incredible. I have to say, I was doing my research after I was watching the screener, and there was an article that came up that I was reading, and there was something in that article that I really resonated with as a viewer personally. And it was, I think somebody made a comment. It was either you or somebody that you were speaking with, and it was basically like, I don't normally reach for movies quite like this, but I really enjoyed this type of film because it's not just a boxing type of movie. And that like really hit when I was reading that article. I really enjoyed that because that's kind of how I am. Like, I revere other great movies so well, but I'm so happy to have seen your spin on how you crafted this film. What was your inspiration for all of this, and what is it that made this particular project for you? I'm sure you have an arsenal of ideas and plot lines, but what is it about this that really that was your launch into the directorial debut world? What was that
Well, I
process for
mean,
you?
first and foremost, I got to say thank you because I completely agree. I always say this isn't a boxing film, it's a film about a boxer. And it
Right.
doesn't mean that you have to love boxing to come and watch and enjoy this movie. This film is a very human story. It's a character study. It's a movie that makes you feel something. I wanted to make a picture that sort of harkens back to the films of my past, the films that really moved me, and the films that sort of shaped me and made me want to be a filmmaker. And they were always very human stories. They always followed a character and somebody who I became so obsessed with, so like with it on their journey. I was so invested in that actor, in that person, in that sort of world that I lost myself. And I always used to say that I used to go, I go to films to remember, not to forget. I like to remember things. I like to remember it in the pit of my stomach. I want to wake up in the morning and remember. And that usually is by telling something that was relatable. And when I saw this documentary short about that Stanley Kubrick made, which was just 1951 about a boxer on the day of a prize fight, nothing much happens. But I said, like other great films that I fell in love with, sometimes the story, in essence, can seem quite simple, but the complexity is what the character or the human is going through. So you just turn that up one notch and you say, well, what if that day was his last day? What would he do? Who would he see? What would he say? Who did he speak to? And it asked so many questions um, that took me down this beautiful journey of like all those people that are important in Irish Mike's life, but in our lives, we can find something relatable in this movie, be it a father figure, a mentor, an ex-wife, an ex-lover, and a kid, a complete stranger, a best friend. We've all had these experiences because they're human experiences. I wanted to make a human story.
Definitely. Well, and to your point of really having that humanity in there, one thing that I really noticed is this film is so nuanced. The acting is so unique. It's something that I feel like I haven't seen in a very long time. That's what really drew me in, honestly. Do you feel that your obviously acting abilities and coming from that space really allowed you to kind of launch in and like and step into that directorial position and really like understanding obviously from what it's like to be directed? Do you think that you brought that to being a director? What does that process look like for you?
I'm so interested that you brought that up by the way. And Han, do you mind me asking how old you are? I know that's sort of really rude question, but do you want to?
That's okay. I'm 27, but I have a degree in acting and I loved directing and I almost went to school for that, but I went for acting first. So I'm
This is
asking
my
from a,
point.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm just so happy because I'm saying someone in their 20s right now, and what
Mm,
you've tapped into is exactly the reason why we made this film, is because I think there's not enough films that actually convey the complexities of the human soul, like what we've
mhm,
all been. I think there's this drought out there of movies that are these adult stories that uh, the films that shaped us. You wanting to, being an actor, being a writer, a journalist in that sort of system. I find that I have a yearning, like a thirst, like give me something that makes me, inspires me, and makes me want to go out and do this. And we set about trying to make something which proves that an audience and a younger generation, a generation even younger than that, still have the same need and want, because we want to be moved. We want to go to the theater and we want to have an experience that inspires us, and it's like art, it's like music. There's a collective social experience where you will feel something, and feeling is good. And people are very afraid to feel these days.
Well, and I think personally, one of the things that I'm always very passionate about and speaking about as well is like we're in an era right now, especially with social media. We just want to relate now more than ever. That's all that everybody wants. We want to be validated. We want to know that somebody else feels the same way that we do, that they have the same response. We want to be related to someone or something so desperately badly. I think that that's another reason why I just really, really love this film. It's so awesome. You did such
I'm
a good
so
job.
happy you said that. No, it's just amazing because I feel that, and you're so right in this world of sort of social media and things that take us away from these actual connections, human connections, where you go and speak to somebody, look them in the eyes, tell them that you're sorry, tell them you love them. If you haven't spoken to someone for a long time, pick up the phone. You know what I mean? Actually have a conversation. I think it's very important. And you said it's like the acting side of it, like being an actor, you're very tapped in, as you well know, to that part of you. Like you want your emotions, you want them to be at the surface. People are very used to pushing those feelings down and suppressing them, not necessarily saying, I'm unhappy, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm in love, I'm this. It's very hard, that communication. So it's just fantastic that you feel that way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for see, there you go. Thank you for validating me in terms of that. No, I
It is,
I love that.
I love you felt that. It's just the best. It's the
It's
best.
amazing. My final question to you, I just have to touch on this and then we will wrap. But Scorsese's been very instrumental and very supportive of you. What has that been like? That's massive. I mean, I can't even imagine. But what is that having his support? What does that mean to you?
I mean, Hannah, you well know as a student of film and all the rest of it, it's like feeling the beacon of God shining down on you. That I without question, as you well know, he's made such an indelible mark on film, past and present, that will go on for. I always say to him for centuries to come. Like there, the greatest part about Marty is he's forever the student of film. He's still as excited about discovering new things, watching new movies, and making his movies and telling new stories as almost the first time he ever made a film, which is holding on to that love and that passion. I mean, that's the coolest part of it, is like we're lucky to be even setting foot in being able to tell these stories and to be a part of this, possibly creating a piece of art. And he's paved the way for so many filmmakers to tell a story like ours. And I remember we were talking once, and he was like, they probably never would make Mean Streets now or Taxi Driver, if they came to a studio and showed it. And wouldn't that be a tragedy? Because the films that shaped us would no longer exist. And that's the direction we're going. So it takes people like you and, hopefully a film like this and, our community to really stand arm in arm and say, guess what? We want more films like this. We have a lot of other movies. We don't have that many movies like this anymore.
No, we don't. Oh my gosh, I could go on for forever, Jack. I just want to say thank you so much for speaking with me and congratulations. Seriously, I really, really
You're
love
amazing.
this film. You are so talented and keep going. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. I hope we get many more times to talk in the future.
Absolutely. I'll reach out. Thank you so much.
You're the greatest.